YouTube's what's up?
There's hundreds of Turkish ships out there. We don't have the numbers to go offensive, so we should just keep their galleons and transports at bay.
Alright, so here we are in the 6th scenario in the Battles of the Conquerors campaign. This one following Agincourt, which I quickly took care of in one video, and I'm planning on getting this done on hopefully this video. We'll see how the game time translates to real time. But Lepanto, I make do this way. Anybody can do this. It's even, I would say it's a little bit more difficult than Tours and Agincourt, but it's still easier than even Vinland Saga. So you're not going to have too much of a problem. Basically, you have to build your own wonder, defend it for 200 years. You can build that wonder as quickly as possible. You're going to get hit by the Turkish Navy and by troops being transported on transport. About 10-minute mark. Just to give you a little bit of information before we get going, Turks have 20 transport ships, I believe. I think they have, regardless, I think they have 320 units in total that will be transported onto your little stretch of land. So that is a ton. You're going to have to defend it amazingly with good navy and not good on-land forces, or not needed on-land forces if you do it a different way, but I'm going to show you an easier, less stressful way that can take care of it very quickly. So let's get going. Basically, what you want to do, you can start building, they say in the hints, do not use all your villagers to construct a wonder. I will do that. You want to make 10 villagers. You're going to get hit by the Navy before 10 minutes, I believe, actually. The Turkish Navy, that is. You want to send these villagers over here. And you can send the siege onagers right here is fine for right now. Can't really tell which one's what. But what you want to do is you want to, corral your navy. You want to get your navy all organized and everything over here. It's pretty good, as you can tell, but you know, Turkish Navy is amazing. I don't believe the Turkish Navy rebuilds their forces after their initial assault, so you don't have to worry about continue to get hit from additional forces that weren't already there at the beginning of the scenario, if you follow me. Alright, so watch your villagers. What you want to start doing now is you want to start building walls, if I can control this, extending all the way out away from the access to the wonder. Alright, so you can actually, let's bring her over, help her build out. What we're going to do is we're going to build a huge chunk of walls, and we're just going to cut off the transport ships that come over here. There will be a number of transport ships that drop units off on these shores.
Why did our brilliant
all the way up to here?
Wonder so close to the shoreline?
All the way up to here, there'll be a ton of troops right here. This line, they'll be dropped off over here, and it's so hard to defend against all the transport ships that come flying you at once, especially with limited number of units in your navy once they get taken out by the Turkish Navy. But we can stop the transport ships, I'm confident, that come in this stretch. There are about 6 that come throughout this scenario right here, and if you can stop them, you have all the units that will be able to directly reach your wonder on land destroyed. Otherwise, they'll have to go through this stone wall. And when all these units are coagulated down here for the Turks, you'll see what I mean by that. Get these guys going as well. Once they're all coagulated on one side, you'll have no problem just having them get preoccupied by all the other structures that you have elsewhere, separate and behind this wall, preoccupied, and they'll just be going against your monasteries, your houses, your farms, and whatnot, and you won't have a problem. So ideally, you want to take out what the Turks throw at you in terms of their cannon galleons. Those will be your most threatening units to deal with. Alright, so continue to get these guys building this stone wall for you. Try not to have them chop down those trees. You can leave those trees there. And you eventually want to build a little bit of an extension of a wall right out to here, and then block this off, block that off. So we can have him start doing that right now. Alright, let's bring that straight down. We'll be okay. Keep monitoring your navy. Any moment now they will strike at you. And you can leave this person, this onager here, 2 onagers in case a transport ship does sneak by. But you want to make sure that does not happen. Alright. Alright, so now with this is probably one of the most difficult, most taxing mentally and strategically parts of this scenario is dealing with this Navy. Want to make sure you're obviously targeting their cannon galleons the best you can. If you do see them on your map, alright, so here they are. Finally saw them. Alright, just skip over what is most of their cannon galleons. You see they have a huge Navy, so don't try not to be too intimidated, but it's hard not to be kind of wary of going into their Navy. But just push them back as far as you can. Even if you don't destroy all their units, pushing them back is effective in helping you out throughout the scenario, as it keeps their Navy away from your fire ships that'll be taking down their transport ships. Alright, so just keep following these guys. They have a couple more of these. They'll keep on.
It is dangerous to sail too far into the jaws of the
Alright, so there's one more over here.
We're better off patrolling our own shores.
You're not going to be able to reach those transport ships, I almost guarantee you, because the Turkish Navy doesn't necessarily have a lot of transport ships and whatnot out here, or excuse me, they don't have a lot of town centers and whatnot. They have tons of transport ships. They don't have a town center or villagers, so they don't have like a economical, I don't know how you would describe it, force in the scenario. And you want to make sure this is completely covered. That'll be good for us. We want to extend this a little bit though, with the couple of these fire ships out to right there. Get that blocked out a little bit, and we should have where the transport ship will be coming in all covered. So that's just a galleon, not worry about that. Alright, so keep pumping out the stone. They'll send in some trebuchets too. Gosh dang it. Oh my gosh! They'll send in some trebuchets too. The scroll rate I have to decrease apparently. Trebuchets, but if you don't continue to build,
the wonder is complete. Now we just need to defend it.
If you don't continue to extend this stone wall, alright, sorry for that little glitch there. I got interrupted for a second, so it looks like Cannon Galleon is still mowing us down, or trying to mow us down at least. So I'm going to build a couple more of these fire ships. And so that'll prevent... Alright, that's good work. Good work.
Don't let them land.
Yeah, darn right, don't let you land. That'll prevent... Come on. Alright, so the Turkish transport's right about now. Year 187 on your wonders thing. Alright, so beautiful. There should be a couple more. These three, yeah, they're going to get stuck right in the midst of your fire. Coming in, beautiful. And now it looks like Cannon Galleon has caught his eye on my fire ship. So we're going to try to avoid them. And there shouldn't be any more coming at us. This four. Alright, so good. With that attracted, we could send this guy back out there. Because he's attracted to one group, and with all your fire ships all coagulated like this together, there we go, he's going to come at you. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're going to burn you up. We're going to burn you up. Keep running. You can keep running. It's going to hurt though. Wood burns. So we can just blockade this off again, Vicksburg it, and they're not going to be able to get to us. I don't believe they really send any units over here, any transport ships over here that we have to worry about. Obviously, we want to continue building the stone wall. We're going to try to block this off the best we can to cut it on the house. Alright, so... Oh, he's going to die. Alright, so we lost all those guys. We can take out what remain of the Janissaries over here, so we can continue building our best. We got plenty of wall right here, so this should stunt the trebuchets as well. Alright, so we don't want this action. This is not good action here. Try to pull these guys back.
Farewell under Turkish rule. If you tribute to us 800 gold, we will ally with you instead.
And the ironic thing is that the Greek village down here, I wanted to bring this up but didn't really have an opportunity to do so. The Greek village down here, yeah, it sounds like some weird crack Euros restaurant down the street from you. It's not. Down here will offer you to become an ally with you. They'll give you some tributes of wood and gold, but it's really not going to be anything substantial, so you can kind of ignore it. I wouldn't go with them because I don't need to go with them, but if you're playing this drawn out, and this is the weird thing. This transport ship always seems to never unload, so you don't have to worry really about this transport ship. Just chills there for a while, and you can almost get it taken out. Usually runs away right about now, but it stayed there anyway, so I'll take it. These heavy camels will be in here. These Turks, you'll be intimidated by their elite janissary. I believe they're like slaves raised from being as their child. Alright, so now I'm going to buy some wood, and I want to go chopping away. You want to get some wood so you can continue to get a couple fire ships. It looks like if I don't get any more gold, I'll have room for about 4 more. And they'll just be preoccupied with these farms and this town center over here. They can continue to bring in trebuchets eventually, bombard cannons and whatnot. But if you get this sequestered off, you get this quartered off with your fire ships, you won't have any sort of problem whatsoever. You could probably put a scout out here just in case, I don't know, your fire ships aren't ready. But looks like we can get another one of those transport ships taken care of. Blockade that off a little bit better. Make sure this little area is taken care of as well. You don't want them slipping by this little island here. You can put a castle down if you want to, put a guard tower down, help you see out a little bit further. But you're not going to get notified of transport ships like you did the initial time. But you can see this right there. This blocks off some of the more of their units. It's not a big deal. And they have a lot of cavalry right now, so you can see why it looks pretty intimidating. And I believe there are 320 units in total that transport ships carry in this scenario. So one of the things the creators were concerned with is that the map would be this ultra slow moving map because there's so many units, and you know what happens when you're you get overloaded units on your game map all at once. The game slows down. Everything's at a molasses-like pace, but because they're in transport ships, and then some of them get killed and they're not all sent at once, it's okay. But typically people like to play this a little bit, or at least my certain strategy guys or walkthroughs will play this more conventionally, and they take into the account that Navy is the most important aspect of this scenario, because your Navy controls the water militaristically, and you can also, I guess that would be the same thing, destroying transport ships would be militaristic pursuits too, but you can just take down transport ships and this entire army is sunken in the water. The funny thing is there's no USS Indianapolis involved whatsoever, considering those guys don't just float around. The transport ship kills them all at once, so you don't have to worry about them swimming back to land, even though the horses will probably sink. Camels. Camels might float. No, they got water in them. Same density, though, so I don't know what happened there. So, people like to play it that way. They like to dominate with their Navy, but I just find it hard to get enough resources right away. There's only one main gold pile. The trees too are over here, and it's just kind of a pain managing against a lot of these units and a lot of the cannon galleon units. These units, if they do get on land, basically you don't want to be played off by these unit producers either. They're useless to you. They're not going to help you out at all. You cannot handle taking down these units with your own unit land units. You just can't do it. You can't pull it off. I'm sorry. So it looks like they're trying to send in another transport ship here. Where are you going to go? Are you going to send it right there? That would actually be bad if you had a trebuchet firing from right there. What you can do as well, you know, in case you run into this scenario, it looks like I'm going to sell a little bit of this so I can continue to get some more fire ships. Keep pumping them out. You never know. You might need a fire ship or 2 down here. So it looks like we got about 6 minutes or so left, something like that. And they're continued to be content just destroying walls. They usually go for these farms more, but I don't know why they're not. They love going for the walls, burning up those guys, and thankfully they don't have the smarts to bring in siege onagers and take down this forest, because that would screw us up. Just in case you run into the situation where the prospect where a couple trebuchets get in range of you, I don't know how that would happen. You can send these villagers over here to try to repair this guy as best as you possibly can. You already have treadmill crane, so
our fire ships will sink the Turkish fleet
Duh.
to the bottom of the Ionian Sea.
This is the Ionian, in case you were wondering. Thank you, Spanish Navy narrator. So, did I see a unit? Did I see a transport ship coming somewhere? No? Was it just my mind playing tricks on me as I'm walking during this? I tell you, you are on edge as a walkthrough in these types of scenarios. On edge. So, 50 years. The safe number of years is probably 25, I would say. Which is, what I mean by that is, in case a transport ship were to get to land, and was able to drop off their units. Alright, so those guys are blocked over there, so just in case, I'm going to send a couple of these guys to make sure those transport ships don't harm me at all. So, I'm going to bring a couple of you to fill in that little chink in the armor over there. Take out these guys, these transport ships, just in case they get smart, which they won't, because you realize how dumb the AI is once you play Lepanto. You can say the same about Agincourt, but now especially, they have 320 units that they could use to demolish one building, but they don't know how to do it effectively, and they instead get them all sunk into the ground, or they waste them on stone walls. They're scared of stone walls, so they destroy them to make themselves feel comfortable. So AI is idiotic. It's a great the definition of idiocracy is the Turks in Lepanto. And I have this battle book that goes through all the famous battles in the world, and Lepanto is in there, which I thought was cool. And the image, the picture of it is great. It's just people jumping from like a sea covered in ships. So it's basically a sea of ships, one next to each other, one next to another, and soldiers are just jumping from one ship to the next without even going on land or water. So, you know, you can kind of picture that. There's a lot of burning ships, a lot of sinking ships, and a lot of dead bodies, fortunately. So that's what you expect, and I know most of you are probably thinking I'm going to do something tactically and just ingenious. I guess you could say this is clever, but it's not necessarily genius-like. But this is how you stunt the Turks in Lepanto. It's very easy. Don't be intimidated by the massive units. If you dive in Marco Polo, you see a massive transport ships chock full of units, which you can assume are high-end units, elite units. But all you need is a squadron of at least 10 fast fire ships, I would say, and a bunch of walls. That's all. That's the recipe for success in this scenario. So they didn't even bring the trebuchets. I don't know where they are. Sometimes they do a little different order with the units they drop off, but I'll take it. Don't have to worry about the trebs either. Maybe I took one of them out, one of their ships out with them. So thanks for watching, and I'll let you guys watch the cutscene, obviously, and we might have, it'll be close on time, but I'll do a little bit follow-up after the cutscene like normal. So that's Lepanto, one part, took care of it, and let you guys watch the cutscene after I get my victorious sign and I get a little, that's all I got. So right there, beautiful wonder, 200 years. That went by fast. I'm still 18.
The heavy Venetian galleasses broke through the Turkish lines and trampled over the smaller ships of the Turks. But there were too few of the galleasses to win the battle on their own. The Spanish and Venetians attempted to grapple and board the Turkish ships, where the superior experience and weapons of the Christian marines could be brought to bear. As the day wore on, the Turkish juggernaut began to run out of steam. Scores of Turkish galleys were dashed on the rocks, and others sank to the bottom of the bay. Less than 50 Turkish ships survived the battle.
Yeah, duh, because they started with
Lepanto
less than 50.
was not the climax of the conflict between the Christians and the Turks on the Mediterranean, but it was a turning point. The Turks had difficulty rebuilding their fleet back to its former size, while the Christians continued to update their fleets with the latest technological advancements, ensuring a decisive military advantage for further encounters on the high seas.
Alright, so I guess you needed to hear that. That was interesting. Little historical update there, and I get that nice music because I did build a wonder. And that's how you complete Lepanto. Just get those walls up early, and make sure you also get, the key word is walls. Walls, stone fortified walls, and walls of fast fire ships in that little opening right there that you saw where my fast fire ships were. If got to push back that navy of the Turks early on so they won't annoy your fast fire ships. And if you lose those fast fire ships, you lose this scenario, because those transport ships will get on the part of land where your wonder is, and they will take them down. Otherwise, the rest of those Turkish units will just sit there useless on the eastern side of your base, where all your economic things are, your monastery, your farms. They'll just try to destroy them, and they will never even get to your wonder. So that's how you complete it in this time limit right away. Not the most glamorous way to complete this scenario, but a fun one. So hopefully this helped you out, helped get you through this scenario, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Is it Noryang Point or oh, I forgot the other one. Whatever, I'll get to it. Thanks for watching part 11 of Battles of the Conquerors scenarios.